Hi everybody, this is Walk from the Novopangea project, and today we're going to dive into voting tickets and how the voting system is going to work to drive the story mode aspect of this project. Once you log into the Players Hub, you're going to see on the left-hand side there's going to be a voting tab. When a voting season is open, you'll see that there's going to be a countdown timer displayed, and that's simply just going to show you when the next season is going to in fact open. Once the season's open, this is where the voting ballots are going to appear. And this is a really exciting part of the Novopangea project because this is where the community is going to come together to start to really drive this whole story. It's going to drive story arcs, it's going to drive relationships, anything that you'll see really start to develop. Questions are going to be posed here for you to really vote on. It's also going to have a really huge impact on game mode because this is going to be where weapons, resources, infrastructure needs, anything that really starts to translate over to game mode is really going to be decided, during these particular voting ballots. So the way this is going to work is that a player will come in, they'll jump into the voting section here, and they'll have an opportunity to start to dive in and decide how many tickets that they want to spend on these specific questions. So you'll notice at the top here, this particular player has been assigned 150 tickets. So what that means is that they have 150 tickets to spend across the ballots that are available. So in this particular example here, there's two ballots that have been presented. There's a water realm question and then there's an earth realm question, and the player essentially can decide how many votes they want to spend. So the math is pretty straightforward. We're using a quadratic voting formula here. So one vote essentially equals 1, 2 equals 4, 3, 9, etc., etc. So in this particular example here, the player has decided that they want to spend 5 votes, which equals 25 tickets on the water cannon answer. And then on the second ballot, they want to spend 3 votes or 9 tickets. So 34 tickets total. And you'll see that 34 has been subtracted from the 150, which leaves them 116 tickets left. So then once you click on submit, your answers are locked in. So you'll only be able to choose one answer. And once those answers are then tallied up, the voting season will obviously close. The votes will get tallied up, and then we'll release the answers. And so you'll see here on the screen, the water cannon answer was in fact correct. 62% of voters chose that answer. But on the second ballot, the answer was in fact incorrect. Diamond Dagger was the number one choice. So what ends up happening at the end of the voting season is that you will essentially get back what you have risked. So in this example, the player risked 25 tickets on the first ballot. They were correct, so they obviously get the 25 tickets that they risked, plus an additional 25. On the second ballot, they were incorrect, so they lost the 9 tickets that they risked. So in this example, it ends up being net that the person ended up winning 16 new tickets for the next voting round. So when you go through this process, you will have the chance to use all your voting tickets if you wish. And we strongly suggest that. You certainly want to use all your tickets. If in fact you vote on all the ballots and you get none of them correct, that doesn't mean that it's over for you and you can't participate in any future voting ballots. Your votes will in fact reset for the next voting round. This is supposed to be a fun and engaging experience for everybody to come back and use multiple times. So don't think that you have to kind of hold your votes back and that you're going to lose them. We want you to use them and have fun with this experience. What we do want to institute, though, is that if you in fact get the vote correct, there's going to be some rewards that you will receive, and I'll get to that here in a second. So once the voting season closes and you want to potentially even go back and look at other results, there'll be a tab that you can click on there. So you'll see it says view previous voting ballots down the bottom. So if you do want to go back and look at previous results, previous ballots and see what happened, you can also do that. Like I mentioned, though, what we are going to institute is a reward-based system for the winners. So if in fact you do risk 25 tickets and your answer is correct, you'll have an opportunity to receive some new NFTs. So when the voting round closes, our artists are obviously going to start to develop new content based on the questions and the answers that were chosen. So in this example, we'll look at the water cannon And you'll see here on the screen, the artists are developing some concept artwork here, and eventually they'll come up with a final sketch card that we're going to release to those that were successful in their selection. So in this particular example, here's a water cannon sketch, and we'll airdrop that into your account if you risked more than 25 tickets. And that'll obviously equate to 1 creator credit as well. So we talked a little bit about creator credits in a previous video, and how that's going to also impact how you can use credits to redeem for other things in the marketplace. So once the artists have finished developing all the content, what we'll end up doing is releasing essentially a chapter release of story cards, and that's going to be really based on these specific voting ballots. So you'll see here on the screen, we've kind of got a breakdown of the rarity tiers again, so common all the way through to legendary, and creator credits will correspond to those rarity tiers like we covered in the previous video. So a lot of questions have come up in Discord. Well, what happens if I end up using all my creator credits when I redeem during this land release? Like, how do I top up again? Well, this is how you're going to do it. Essentially, is through story mode, through these content releases, you'll have an opportunity to get these story-based cards, get these story-based packs, and this is how you'll start to, again, top up your creator credits so that you can then go back into the marketplace and redeem for game resources, or it could be experience points or packs or even a 3D model potentially. And that's how this is all essentially going to come together. The last piece of story mode is that we'll obviously have we'll release an update about how the story is progressing. So you'll see on the screen here, we've essentially got a story mode tab. It's more of a blog-based format here to start, but the vision of really where we want to get to with this project is at the end of each chapter, these will start to turn into more long-form animated scenes, eventually hopefully into more animated episodes, and that's really kind of where we're wanting to go with story mode and the Novopangea project. So again, if you have any questions, please jump into Discord. We're hanging out there a lot, wanting to get connected with everybody and make sure everybody's has all the answers that they're looking for. So thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.